Hi everyone, how you doing? So the team news is out. I'm actually very happy about Newcastle's lineup. We all wanted that man, Yoshinori Mutu, to start, and he is. More Newcastle in a moment. We're going to be talking a little bit about Brighton before I head off to the game. It's only about a 10-minute drive from here, so it's not too bad as well. Obviously just round the corner, Dunstan are busy playing Gateshead at the moment for a local Gateshead derby. But looking at Brighton, so first of all, Chris Hughton, massive amounts of respect. Everybody loves him, all the Geordies love him. He's one of those honest guys that he doesn't want to see Newcastle do poorly, even though he was unfairly sacked by Mike Ashley. It seems like years ago now, doesn't it? And, you know, we were at the Kevin Nolan event last night, and he was saying that the dressing room wasn't very happy about Chris Hughton being sacked. There'll be an interview with Kevin Nolan, by the way, on Monday. It's really long. It's in depth, 20 minutes long, so keep an eye out for that. You'll enjoy that. But Brighton coming. It looks like, I don't know whether they're going to play a 4-5-1 or they're going to play one behind, because you can see Brighton's lineup at the bottom of the screens now. Anthony Knockaert's on the bench. Obviously, he's a menace. He's a bit of a diver. A reputation, no disrespect to Brighton fans, but hey, I think he's a diver. But is Cueto is going to play on the right? You would think that's where Knockaert's normally position is. And then they've got Stevens and Kale in the midfield. And I think that's where Mo Diarmi and Jonjo Shelvey need to get the better of those two. I believe that they can do better than those two. No disrespect, Dale, Stevens and Kyle. And then they've got the Iranian winger, Jahan Bakash, if I pronounced that right. Apologies if I haven't. I don't know too much about him. But where's Solly March playing? Is Solly March in the 10? Is he playing out wide on the left? Or Brighton playing 5 midfield? Or they're playing the 4-1-1 formation? We'll have to see when that develops, when we get inside the ground, because there's no doubt about it is that the emphasis is getting service to Glenn Murray. Glenn Murray's obviously a northern lad. He'll want to do well here. However, you've got to stop the supply. And that's why I think it's important that the midfielders and our fullbacks get back into cover. Because you know what it is. People slate Glenn Murray, oh, he's too old and all this sort of stuff. He's got 5 goals in 8 games. That's phenomenal. Ronaldo will be pleased with that record. Or probably even Lionel Messi. You think, yeah, it's all right, isn't it? But Newcastle's lineup, it's the same except from Paul Dummett. We've got most of you would have got it spot on. We've got it spot on as well. It's going to be Martin Dubravka in goal, picks himself. Yedlin, there was that doubt because he's played for the USA. When he's starting out, I think he has to. And then Lascelles, you know, he's a standout defender. But Federico Fernandez has really impressed a lot of people this season. I think he's now second choice until Florian Lejeune comes back. We know that Lejeune's been in there captured in training this week, so it's nice to see him back at least amongst the gym in the training squad, in the training centre, sorry. And then Paul Dummett comes back. He missed the Man United game, but to be all honest, I probably don't think we'll actually miss Paul Dummett that much against Man United, because most of the play was coming from the other side, Yedlin's side. So, but it's still a welcome boost. I'd much rather have Paul Dummett in there instead of Javier Manquillo, because there's always that worry with Manquillo, isn't there? And then Matt Ritchie on the right, who I missed off in the predicted 11. Yeah, Matt Ritchie will be up and down that right flank as well. He needs a goal as well. I hope Rafa doesn't take him off, though, for Atsu later. For God's sake, no, Rafa, please don't. Diarmi, it will be there to win the bite. And then, for me, Shelvey needs to get on the ball. And I'd like to see him get further forward. I remember when we beat them. Remember when we beat them 2-0 and Shelvey scored that free kick at St James's against them? Get him on the ball a lot more. Let's try and get Shelvey a little bit further forward. Because let's face it, Brighton would be content with a point. They would, wouldn't it? Well, we wouldn't. If we come away from that game drawn, we'd be like, it's crisis again. You know, everyone in fan cams will be down in the dumps and all of this. And it's like, we've got to go and get these 3 points now. And I think Shelvey's key. You've got to try and get him further forward for me. And then we need another performance from Kennedy on that left flank. You know, he's been hit and miss against Man United. He was absolutely superb until he had that little bit of a niggle where he had to be forced to come off. And that's where the dynamics changed in that game for me, when Mourinho brought on Fellaini and then the 2 substitutes which had to be forced off. It was kind of Rafa had his hands tied behind his back. And then Perez and Mutu. Now, who plays the number 10? Now, against Man United, if any of you have seen the preview video that we did this week, the average positions, it was actually Perez who was the furthest man forward on average, with Mutu very close behind him. I think that's probably the way to go forward. Let's give Brighton something to think about, because if it's going to be Perez in the 10, Mutu in the striker, why not? Let's mix it around. Give them something to think about. Let's mix them. And I think it will happen. I think you'll see Perez alternate with Mutu in between the number 10 and the striker. Because, let's face it, Dunk and Duffy are giants. They would have expected a bit of Hostler in there. And substitutions, I want to talk about substitutions first of all. We know that Rafa gets criticised. And rightly so. You are allowed to criticise Rafa Benitez. There's this mysteria around social media. If you call Rafa Benitez, you know, you get called out yourself. That's not the case. Rafa's human. He does mistakes. And you are allowed to say, well, Rafa got it wrong here. But then again, you've got to flip it on the coin, flip it on the other side and say, when he does do well, you've got to praise him. So it works both ways. So for me, substitutions, that's an area for me where you've got to work on. I've said it this week. If we're drawn 0-0 after 70 minutes, don't take Muto off and just put Hostler on. Let's go completely different. Let's go 2 up top. Let's go direct. It doesn't have to be just that. But let's mix it around a bit. Let's go for it. Let's be brave, Rafa. Because when I say Richie come off and then I say Atsu come on, that deflates me. It really does. And that's not... I'm not trying to single out Christian Atsu by all means, but I think Atsu's been very poor this season. Since he's had his operation, he looks like a shadow of his former self. If he's going to bring Atsu on, okay, take Yedlin off. Let's go a little bit more braver. Take Dummett off. Let's go for it, because really we need these 3 points. We've got an easier run of fixtures until we play Liverpool on Boxing Day. 10 games now where the teams are all hovering around relegation to mid-table. Newcastle really need to start picking up points, because if we don't start picking up points, you know, even the loyalist fans will probably look at Rafa and question him. And I'm nowhere near that stage yet. But I think if we were still 10 games and, you know, we've only won 1 out of 10 or 0 out of 10, I think you probably have to question Rafa, because we know that he's got the squad. They are his players on a budget string, but we know, if you look at the bigger picture, Mike Ashley and so on, you just not give them the funds. It goes on and on and on. You've got to look at the bigger picture, of course. But hopefully we'll get the 3 points. I think we will play on the attacking front today. I think we've got to. We look so much better against Man United at home, in that first half, going for them. And it took Man United by surprise. And I think that's the way we've got to go forward. Let's go in and attack. And if we go 1-0 down, keep it going, keep the attacking mentality going, and then change it if you have to later. It's interesting. What I'm going to be keeping an eye on is Rafa substitutions. That's something I'm going to be watching on. I'll probably bring that up with the fan cams as well. If you are going to the game, because I'm going to shoot off now, it's nearly 2:15. Come along to fan cams, give us a chat. We're talking all things from Mike Ashley to Brendan Rodgers to the game itself, and these two I can't even say it now. These 2 Courtois, I can't even say it now. I'm not even going to say it. That are allegedly taken over, but. Let us know the score predictions if you're watching the rerun as well. Let us know what you think in the comments down there below. Hopefully we'll get 3 points. We'll be back with the instant thoughts probably about 6ish, and then the fan cams will start rolling out between 9, 10, 11 PM at night. 3 points, please, lads. See you. Bye bye.